Welcome in beautiful human beings. In the vast and varied landscape of human wellness, one finds a fascinating practice known as energy tapping. It is a method that combines the ancient wisdom of acupressure with the principles of modern psychology. Often referred to by its formal name, emotional freedom techniques or EFT, this practice is a gentle self-applied therapy. It is designed to bring relief from emotional distress and physical discomfort. The fundamental idea is that negative emotions are not merely a state of mind, but a disruption in the body's subtle energy system. Tapping aims to restore balance to this system, much like a gentle hand might smooth a ruffled cloth. The origins of this technique are relatively recent, yet its roots stretch back through millennia of Eastern medicine. The modern form was developed in the 1990s by an American engineer named Gary Craig. He was a student of Dr. Roger Callahan, a psychologist who had created a system called thought field therapy. Mr. Craig sought to simplify Dr. Callahan's complex methods, making them accessible to everyone. He created a single universal sequence of points to tap, regardless of the specific issue being addressed. In doing so, he transformed a specialist tool into something that anyone could learn and use for themselves, anywhere, at any time. The practice itself is deceptively simple. It involves using one's own fingertips to gently tap on a series of specific points on the body. These points are believed to be the endpoints of energy pathways, or meridians, which have been a cornerstone of traditional Chinese medicine for thousands of years. While tapping these points, a person focuses their mind on a specific problem, be it a feeling of anxiety, a persistent fear, or a physical ache. This dual approach, engaging both the body and the mind, is what sets energy tapping apart. It is a quiet dialogue between our physical selves and our emotional experiences. The philosophy behind energy tapping is that the flow of life energy through our body is essential for health. When this flow is blocked or disturbed by a traumatic memory or a negative thought pattern, emotional and physical symptoms can arise. By tapping on the meridian points, one is said to send small, calming signals directly to the parts of the brain that manage stress. This process helps to break the connection between a thought and the body's stress response. It is a way of telling the body that it is safe, allowing the energy system to return to a state of harmonious flow and balance. Performing energy tapping is a structured yet personal journey. It begins with identifying a specific problem one wishes to address. This could be a feeling of nervousness about an upcoming event, or perhaps the lingering sadness from a past disappointment. One then rates the intensity of this feeling on a scale from 0 to 10, where 10 represents the most severe distress. This initial measurement serves as a useful benchmark, allowing the individual to track their progress as they move through the sequence. It is a moment of honest self-assessment, a quiet acknowledgement of the burden one is carrying at that particular moment. The next step is to create a setup statement. This is a short phrase that acknowledges the problem while simultaneously affirming self-acceptance. A typical phrase might be, "Even though I have this fear of public speaking, I deeply and completely accept myself." While repeating this statement, the individual gently taps or rubs a specific spot on the side of the hand, often called the karate chop point. This preliminary step is crucial. It frames the entire session with an attitude of compassion rather than judgment. It establishes a foundation of kindness upon which the subsequent healing work can be built. Then, the main tapping sequence begins. Using 2 or 3 fingertips, one taps lightly on a series of 8 to 9 points on the face and upper body. The sequence typically starts at the top of the head, then moves to the eyebrow, the side of the eye, under the nose, on the chin, the collarbone, and finally under the arm. As one taps each point about 5 to 7 times, they repeat a reminder phrase, a simple word or short sentence that keeps the mind focused on the specific issue, such as this anxiety or this feeling of being overwhelmed. After completing one full round of tapping, the individual takes a slow, deep breath. They then pause to reassess the intensity of their feeling, once again rating it on the 0 to 10 scale. Often the number will have decreased. If the intensity is still above 0, the process is repeated. The setup statement may be adjusted to reflect the change. For instance, even though I still have some of this remaining fear, I deeply and completely accept myself. One continues with rounds of tapping until the intensity is diminished to a manageable level, or even disappeared entirely, leaving a sense of quietude in its place. Those who practice energy tapping often speak of a profound sense of calm that settles over them during a session. As they tap through the points, many describe a feeling of the emotional charge or intensity beginning to dissolve. It is as if a tightly wound spring inside them is slowly and gently being released. A feeling of anxiety that once felt sharp and overwhelming might soften into a dull, distant sensation. For many, this shift can be quite rapid, providing immediate relief from the acute pressure of a stressful moment. The mind, once racing with worried thoughts, finds a quieter, more peaceful space. Following a session, this initial calmness can deepen into a more lasting sense of well-being. People frequently report feeling lighter, as though a heavy weight has been lifted from their shoulders. This emotional relief can lead to a clearer mind and an improved ability to think through problems without being clouded by distress. The world may seem a little brighter, and challenges that appeared insurmountable may now seem more manageable. This newfound emotional equilibrium is one of the most cherished benefits of the practice, offering a tool to navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life with greater resilience and composure. Beyond the emotional sphere, many individuals report experiencing physical benefits as well. Since the mind and body are so intricately connected, relieving emotional stress can often lead to a reduction in physical symptoms. Some people use tapping to address tension, headaches, chronic pain, or digestive discomfort that is exacerbated by stress. While energy tapping is not a substitute for medical treatment, its practitioners find it to be a valuable complementary tool. By calming the body's stress response, it may help to create an internal environment that is more conducive to healing and physical comfort. One of the more specific claims one might encounter is that energy tapping helps with inflammation throughout the body. The connection here is often linked to the impact of chronic stress. It is well established that long-term stress can contribute to systemic inflammation. Therefore, by effectively reducing stress levels, it is plausible that a practice like energy tapping could indirectly help to lower certain inflammatory markers. However, it is important to note that direct scientific evidence supporting the claim that tapping cures or helps all inflammation is currently limited. This is an area where more rigorous scientific investigation is needed to separate anecdotal reports from verifiable clinical outcomes. The question of whether energy tapping truly works is a subject of considerable interest and ongoing debate. On one side, there is a growing body of research that suggests it can be remarkably effective. Several studies and meta-analyses have shown positive results, particularly for conditions such as anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder, often called PTSD. In some controlled trials, EFT has demonstrated effects comparable to established treatments like cognitive behavioral therapy. Supporters point to these studies as evidence that the combination of tapping and focused thought creates a real measurable neurological change, calming the brain's fear center. On the other hand, critics and skeptics offer a different perspective. They argue that the positive effects of energy tapping may not come from the tapping itself, but rather from other, more conventional therapeutic elements that are part of the process. For instance, the act of confronting a problem, verbalizing it, and practicing self-acceptance are all components found in traditional talk therapies. The gentle distraction of the tapping, combined with controlled breathing, could simply be a powerful relaxation technique. These critics call for more large-scale, high-quality studies to determine whether the energy component is essential or merely a placebo effect. Despite the ongoing scientific debate, the technique has found a welcome home as a self-help tool for millions. One of its greatest strengths is its accessibility. It is a simple method that can be learned quickly, costs nothing to perform, and can be used by an individual whenever they feel the need. It is non-invasive and is considered to have a very low risk of any adverse effects. For many, the theoretical arguments over why it works are less important than the simple fact that, for them, it does work. It provides a tangible, immediate method for managing difficult emotions in the moment. Ultimately, the decision to try energy tapping is a personal one. It may be seen not as a replacement for conventional medical or psychological care, but as a potential companion on the path to wellness. For someone struggling with the weight of daily stress or the echoes of past troubles, it offers a gentle, proactive way to engage with their own healing. It empowers the individual, placing a simple yet potentially powerful tool for emotional regulation directly into their own hands. In a world that often feels complex and overwhelming, the simple act of tapping can be a quiet, personal ritual of restoration. Have you tried energy tapping? Let me know in the comments below. Have a smooth day, everyone. Like and subscribe to The Energy is All channel for more.